It's in-game live prime time on a wild, wonderful Wednesday. Yours truly, Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, for the next 2 glorious hours, taking you right up until 10 p.m. Eastern Time. NBA play-in games number 3 and 4. The Eastern Conference's turn tonight. We got 4 hockey games, 1, but really 2 with importance, including Arizona maybe playing their last game in Arizona as the Coyotes. A couple baseball games as well, and we'll run down all the playoff situations, whether it's the NBA or the NHL. We got Black Clouds, we got same-game parlays. We got it all over the next 2. Some guests as well, including Cam Stewart, hour number 2, with his great golf picks. So a lot to get to over the next 2 hours. Mr. Sharapan rocking the Philadelphia 76ers outfit tonight. Very nice. I like that little Dr. J outfit there, Moses Malone.
Good to see you, sir. Absolutely. Yes. We had to break out the stuff like fine china, right? It's playoff time. It's play-in tournament time. So got the fancy jacket. It's a little warm. It's getting pretty nice out here in Vegas. We're in the mid-80s, so I can't really go outside. But I can sit here with you for the next 2 hours on a would you call it a wild, wacky, wonderful minimal sports going on Wednesday. So we'll have our focus on some in-game stuff. There's, baseball was a lot of day games, a couple games tonight that we'll keep an eye on. I got to tell you, I'm bummed out. Last night was so much fun doing the show, and we had the goal horn, and things were happening. And then everything that happened, somehow we missed that the Flyers pulled the goalie against the Capitals in a tie game. Had we known that even more, we would have definitely bet the Capitals there, which we had the Capitals pregame, but that was still a good thing. But it ended all hopes of the Penguins, making the playoffs. So nighttime in Pittsburgh behind me, it's done. Kurtz, if he comes on, he can crow about the Islanders being in and the Penguins being out. And then in 5 games, when the Islanders lose to the Carolina Hurricanes, I can give it back to him a little bit. So right now, 1 for Kurtz, 0 for Sharapan.
Yeah. I don't have an issue with them pulling the goalie, Dave, because if the game would have gone to overtime, Washington would have been guaranteed 1 point. They started the night 2 points ahead of Philadelphia. So Philadelphia had to win that game in regulation. Yes. My only issue is, though, they pulled it with 3 minutes left. I know it's a 1-1 game, not 4-4, so not a lot of offense was being generated. But, boy, 3 minutes left, 1.5, maybe even 2, okay. But 3 minutes left, you're asking for a lot of trouble there. And that's when they scored with basically 3 minutes left, and that was the ball game. Maybe they thought, okay, if they score, we still have 3 minutes to do something. But that's why they pulled the goalie, because they couldn't afford to go to overtime. In the end, it didn't work out because Detroit ended up winning with that crazy goal with 3 seconds left. I still can't believe that. And then, I don't know if you saw, but Philadelphia had a goal in the first period that should have counted, but the official blew his whistle. Some guy took a shot. I don't know who it was for the Flyers. The goaltender hit him in the chest, and it popped high in the air. And the official didn't know where it went. He thought maybe the goaltender had it. He blew the whistle, so the puck ends up dropping down on the ice. It ricochets back in the goal, and it should have been a Flyers goal. But they wiped it off the board because the official blew the whistle. Otherwise, they would have been leading 2-1 at the end of that game. How about that?
I don't understand how that wasn't reviewed. I watched it 5 times. The goalie held his chest like this, like he had the puck in his blocker under his glove. He didn't know where it was. It was up in the air. It came down. Yeah. It landed right behind his pad. The guy hit it in the net. And they reviewed it and went, oh, wait, no, the whistle was blown. It was dead. It was this. What? What are you talking about? So, yeah, the season ends again 4 years in a row. The Flyers don't make the playoffs. I still think it was a successful season for them based on where they've been, but they were that close. So that's a bummer. But at least the Phillies are rolling. Everything's happening good for the Philadelphia Phillies. It's 7-1 in the top of the 7th. They lead to Colorado tonight. You can focus on them. Sixers, they're trailing already against the Miami Heat. We got a decent MLB slate there tonight. L.A. and Tampa. Cleveland at Boston. So we're going to get an over and an under and an under. It looks like, at least those where they're on pace. Wetzel, I have to work this fact in. I got this one directly from our guy out here, who, our guy MC. He said, and I didn't know this, okay, the speed of light is 299,792, 458 meters per second. The latitude of the Great Pyramid of Giza is 29.9792458 degrees north. He challenged me if I could work it into the show. I just worked it into the show. There you go.
Well,
all right. I have no idea why he sent me that right now, but I said I'm working it into the opening segment. There you go.
Well, that's nearly as fast as, not quite, but that's nearly as fast as my wife leaving the kitchen when I ask her to make me something to eat. So, but not it's always pretty fast, but not quite that fast. MC, not quite. Hey, let me just and let me get this. I'll get it out of my system, get it off the table. We don't like to brag here, but time to utter those 5 dastardly words that we all eventually have to say, as I tell on my podcast here. We all eventually will say it. It may take a day, may take a week, may take a month, years, some cases with Phillip Rivers, decades. But Wetzel was right again. Damn. I told you last night, Dave, Golden State was not winning. What did I tell you? How many times did I say the Lakers and Golden State were not both winning their games last night? I don't care who won and who lost, but one of them was losing, and clearly it was Golden State. There's no way the PP, the public parlay, was coming through, and now it's 0-2 since we've been tracking this thing.
All true. What's it? Wetzel was right again, and then what's the last word? You said 5 words.
Damn.
Oh,
damn.
All right.
Damn.
Well, maybe let's start out with that. Damn, Wetzel was right again. How about that? We can put it at the front or the end of the sentence. Either way, it's the end of the Golden State Warriors as constructed, right? That was one of those games that you watched. The end is never pleasant. 118-94, never in the game. Golden State never had a shot. The game stayed under, and I remember the producers' pick yesterday. I believe the producers. You want to talk about being right? Let's give the producers a little PP props. All right, producer props. How about that? You want a couple PP right there? All right. They said Kings money line. We don't need no points. We're getting 3 at home. So we'll have a producer's pick later for the second game tonight. Very important because, if you win 1, that's good. If you win 2, that's called a streak.
Yes. And I got a lock for the second game, by the way. First game not going well for the home team. We'll run down the scores alive and we go back to U5.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year.
Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
Victor Hovland right now can probably hit it right where he's looking on the range. But the problem is when you get out to a golf course, especially like Augusta National, it's a big, big picture. You can see every shot in the world, but the targets are really, really small.
I feel like whoever we pick is going to win. I feel like we have the power to choose the winner of this tournament.
I know. I'm surprised more guys haven't reached out.
And they might, and they probably will.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120.
almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, Prime Time, hour number one, just getting underway. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next 2 hours here on the grid. Checking out some NBA stuff. The first of two play-in games. It's kind of weird why the Eastern Conference went first, but I guess that's how, or the Western Conference rather played yesterday, and Eastern Conference today. But I guess that's how good it's going to be Saturday, Sunday as far as the playoff games are concerned. But that said, Miami-Dade leading at Philadelphia. We were talking during the break, 40-34. They still have Philadelphia as the favorite here, which I'm a little surprised with, but they're down 6. They were down as many as at least 10 I saw. They're laying 2.5. The over-under is 190.5. I heard you on with Ranieri on Game Time Decisions, and I echoed what you said. I liked the under a lot before the game at 208. I still like the under. I've been hitting it, nibbling a little bit more each time. But they're still giving you a decent number, even at 190.5. I mean, you have 74 points with 3 minutes left to go in the half. What do they get? Another 10 points? The way they're going, you're going to get with about 85 points at halftime. You're looking for, a 100-point second half, but you haven't come close to that in the first half. I don't think, that's going to play. I'd keep on betting the under.
I don't know what the bottom's going to be. I know when you're doing it, you get around those whole numbers around 190 and you start to go, all right, how much lower can we go? So right. I think maybe around 186.5 will probably be at least the current bottom, unless there's another lull where there's no scoring. So, 40-34 with 3.5 minutes to go. Yeah, it's on a way under pace. I think the Sixers are going to have a good third quarter. That's been the MO. Start slow, bad first quarter, bad second quarter, hang around long enough, somehow turn it on in the third quarter, come charging into the fourth, tied with the lead small, 42-19-1. There it is, ATS in the last 62 games as a favorite. Last 6 home games as a favorite, 6-0. Sometimes you can't bet against the Miami Heat. I don't want the Heat to win because I want the Heat to play the Celtics and push the Celtics to the limit. I'm worried. If the Sixers lose and then win against Atlanta or Chicago, Boston always beats Philadelphia. And I just don't want that. I want to see a series. So that's why I want Philly to win, because I think Philly and the Knicks will be fun, not only for us here, but, New York, Philadelphia, the basketball world will get a very engaging series.
Yeah, you got to believe Boston's rooting for Miami tonight, right? You said they don't want any part of Miami. You can't bet against Jimmy B in the postseason. I don't care if Topeka High is playing as his 4 teammates, as long as he's there and Spoelstra is there. I don't know what it is, but that team just turns it on in the postseason. I mean, it's just they were on the brink of elimination last year. Remember, they lost the first game against Atlanta. Then they beat who was second? Chicago, maybe? I think it was Chicago.
Yeah.
In the second game, and then they went on their run, after the play-in and got to the NBA Finals. They're up 8 now. I would, I liked Miami before the game. I like the under more than anything, but I did put a little parlay in with Miami plus the 5.5 and the under. That team, I think, scares a lot of other players. The Celtics, as you said, they're not afraid of facing Philadelphia. They always beat Philadelphia for whatever reason, and Philadelphia always chokes in the postseason also. So. I'd much rather face Philadelphia if I'm a Miami Celtic fan, as I am. So 48-37. I mean, I did like Tobias Harris is over 14.5 points. I did play that. He's got 6 last time I checked. Heat by 14 now.
Yeah.
Wow.
They hit another bucket, and now it's minus 4.5. Miami is minus 4.5. So quick three, back to back. Line flips from Pick'em, to Miami minus. Now it's 5.5 where I'm looking. Totals up to 192.5. So quick threes can change it real quickly. So, this is, listen, do both dogs win? That's the question. Because a dog parlay actually would have paid pretty well. You're going to have about 170 and about 130. So that's a nice little payout. You think both dogs can win tonight?
You know what I like in a second game? I love over Trae Young points, 22.5. I was telling Ranieri. I think Chicago wins, but Chicago's been so bad at home. Atlanta, worst against the spread team in the NBA, right? They've been awful. They've lost 6 in a row. It's pick your poison. But I would be surprised, Dave, if Trae Young, his over-under points is 22.5. I mean, he could get that in his sleep. He was injured, missed about a month and a half, whatever it was. He's come back. He's played 3 games. 3 games he's played, very deceptive. He's only scored 12, 14, and 19 points. So it's like, well, why would you play the over, right? Well, because he didn't play full games, and he will tonight. Those games he's played 21, 27, and 32 minutes. When he's completely healthy, he averages almost 40 minutes a game. And a lot of games he plays over 40 minutes a game. But they cut him, they cut it back because they don't want to rush him back. But he's not going to get cut back minutes tonight. He's going to get his full 38 to 42 minutes. And he averages in the postseason 26.5 points for 5 playoff series. So that's not just 1 or 2 playoff series. Every playoff series except 1, he's averaged at least 28 points. And the 1 series was against Miami, and Miami obviously plays great defense. So in an elimination game, I don't know if they win or lose, but I would be shocked if Trae Young didn't get 23 points tonight.
I think that was a very well thought out case for it.
Thank you.
That was good.
Should have been a lawyer.
Yeah, that's what my mom told me too. She still tells me to this day, you should have been a lawyer.
Yeah.
I can't believe you moved to the Caribbean. Instead you went and learned the book business from the ground up. Said, Mom, it paid better at the time. I don't know what to tell you. How doesn't he get that? What happens tonight where Trae Young doesn't get, because it seems obvious that the number's a little lower than it should be. And I don't know why, right? 25.5, 26.5, it's a bit closer to the average. That makes sense. Why is it 3-4 points lower? The Bulls defense that good? The Bulls defense gonna clamp down on him and make someone else from Atlanta beat you? I don't know. I have to rely on, like yesterday, the producers pick Patrick Foster. It was him. He got it. He helped push me, right towards Sacramento because I was wavering back and forth. And I there's got to be a spot right now for this producer's pick tonight. I think I just got to get this out of the way early, because when you find somebody that gives you the good stuff, you got to, recognize. And then have it ready. So I don't know if the boys are watching. If you get it up in the preview, we can just tell the people right now what the pick is for the second game for the producers, or i.e. Patrick Foster. So when that's ready, we'll get it up. We'll unveil it, because I agreed last night. I agree again tonight, if that's correct. So I like Bulls. If Bulls win, chances are Trey doesn't get that. Okay? If Bulls lose, Atlanta wins, you like Trae Young over, but you still like the Bulls to win the game?
I could see him getting 23 points and lose. Yeah. I don't think the Bull. I like the over, and I see it jumped up to 223.5, so it moved up another point. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I can see both teams winning either way, high-scoring. So, yeah, I can see the Bulls winning and Trey. It's not like 28 points where he's got to have like a monster game. I mean, 23 points. He's going to have the ball. He figures to be a close game, right? He's going to have the ball in his hands at the end of the game. Those playoff numbers that I rattled off before tell me he picks things up. I think he was just kind of screwing around the first couple of games, back from his injury. Yeah, I'd be surprised. I wouldn't fool around. I would start with the Bulls also. I agree with you there. But let's just see, how well they do and get some better numbers in game live. But Young, to me, the over is the play. All right, we'll get the producers pick when we come back.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year. Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
Victor Hoffman right now can probably hit it right where he's looking on the range. But the problem is when you get out to a golf course, especially like Augusta National, it's a big, big picture. You can see every shot in the world, but the targets are really, really small.
I feel like whoever we pick is going to win. I feel like we have the power to choose the winner of this tournament.
I know. I'm surprised more guys haven't reached out.
And they might, and they probably will.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, hour number 1 of our 2-hour extravaganza. A little NBA play-in action. They are at the half. We got another game starting in about an hour or so. We got a little bit of hockey. We got really 2 games with something on the line. Doesn't mean we can't put a couple shekels in on the other games. Only 4 tonight. They close out the regular season tomorrow. A couple of baseball games going on, including our beloved Red Sox, who lead Cleveland 2-0. We can get to that. And a little SGP action, same game parlay time. All right, limited schedule, but I like this game just the same anyway. NBA play-in game number 2 tonight. Chicago at home against the Atlanta Hawks. Chicago basically pick up -3. I'm going to take the Hawks. I got 4 plays here, 4 pieces to the parlay. It's going to pay a nice double digits here. Going to use the Chicago laying 3. They've won 2 of the 3 regular season matchups against Atlanta. The home team in these play-in games since they started, 4 years ago, 15-7. Not over the top great, but, halfway decent, 15-7. Chicago's the home team. I mentioned before, love Trae Young, over 22.5, 23.5 points, whatever number you have. I think he's going to get around 27, 28 or so. We're going to go under DeMar DeRozan, 28.5 points. Why? Because he hasn't hit a big shot his entire life. First one he hits will be his first one, so he's not getting 29 points tonight. And then we're going to go under Clint Capella, 12.5 rebounds. That's a lot of rebounds. I don't expect that many missed shots. So let's go on little hunch. We got the Vukovic on the other side, so it'll be a little bit of a battle there anyway. It's not like he's going up against a nobody. So some rare underplays in our parlay. Dave, under Capella rebounds, under points DeRozan, over Young points, Bulls laying 3. 11.53 is what it was when I put it in this afternoon. What do you think?
I like it. 4 pieces is a good number. Like you went a little crazy yesterday with the 6-piece, nugget. Yeah. So this is good. I wish you luck. I don't even know which one is going to get you. I still am worried about that Young points prop. It seems so easy that I have a feeling it falls 22 or 23, and we're left wondering, how did that happen? DeRozan should go good.
When I did the parlay, I'll just real quick. When I put the parlay in, I sent the guys the numbers. It was 23.5. Now it's 22.5. It actually has gone down.
Yeah,
which I don't like that.
Right,
but
that's I see that too, and that's the one I'm questioning. But I can see the other 2, the Bulls props. Working. So this is as good a shot as any of your, crazy contraptions that you come up with every night here on In-Game Live with the SGP segment. This is good. What about the boys? What are the boys in the back? Do they have a producer's pick? They're 1 of 1 yesterday. There it is.
Yep.
Wow. Wetzel. Money line. Instead of laying the 3. This feels like a move, like a play. Instead of laying the 3, they went the money line. What if the Bulls win by 2 and you lose the SGP and the producers win? We're going to give them their props again.
Can't lay $1.53 when it's a 3-point spread. I mean, so that would mean they would have to realistically win 1 or 2 in order for you to really be kicking yourself, right? If they win by 3, all right, no harm, no foul. I got the push. I should have won, but it is what it is. So you need the Bulls to win a jump shot at the buzzer game versus laying only 110. I just as soon buy the hook and lay, instead of 110, maybe 115 and lay 2.5, maybe 120. I'm not going to lay $1.53 versus laying 3. I would not do that.
Okay. Right. There you go. That's the other trick there if you don't like to lay the 3. Not saying I recommend it, but that's an option for those of you that don't want to lay 154 on a 3-point spread. It should be probably around -140, but welcome to the state of legalized betting here.
Yeah.
The money lines are juiced up a little bit. I mean, I did that for years. It'd be like, -120 is 2 and -140 is 3. And, they kind of just did it that way. So lay a little bit extra for the comfort of not laying the points and having it fall in the middle. But I'm on a boys' side tonight. We're all on the same side. Does that worry you when we do this stuff? When the
Yeah.
boys come with the pick, and you're on it, I'm on it. You think it bothers anybody? Like watching the show, you guys watching the show, guys and girls watching the show. Do you think they get nervous and they go, that Wetzel guy, Sharapan, now the producers are even all on Bulls. We should probably just bet the Hawks. That's what we should do.
Yeah. It's tough to bet the Hawks, though, right? I mean, they lost 6 in a row. They're playing like garbage. Although I will say, those 6 games outside of one against Charlotte were all against good playoff teams. So it's not like all these were bad losses. But, 6 losses is 6 losses. They did lose 2 of 3. But, the question is, and you mentioned this on yesterday, like, how come it's only 3? And it was 2.5. Don't you think that should be like 4.5, maybe 5, like Philadelphia? I mean, if Philadelphia is a 5.5 point favorite over Miami, shouldn't Chicago be the same over Atlanta, a struggling Atlanta team?
So, I mean, when I do it, I thought Bulls -4, 2 buckets, right? So when I saw it less, I'm like, okay, maybe I have the Bulls a little too high, or maybe I have the Hawks a little bit too low. Initial number, I saw 3.5, and it came down. It bounced to 2.5, and then boom, right back up. So listen, sometimes the number's just right. By the time the game tips and we're sitting at 3, there's no move. That's fine. Some books are right in two-way action. That's good. Every game now for the NBA that we take, a team is eliminated, right? Except the Sixers and the Heat tonight. But after that game, every game after that is elimination game with the play-ins, and then we get playoff basketball. The numbers are getting harder. It's not easier. The numbers are really good. You're going to see a lot more numbers fall around their number, around the totals, especially without the change in venue. You play back-to-back games in the same place. I tell people this all the time. Don't be surprised if it comes down to the end, even if you're laying 8, it falls 7, 8, 9, or 10 a lot of times, or you get an absolute blowout, and the spread doesn't matter. So NBA playoffs are fun. The totals get airtight too. I call it snare drum tight. The numbers, they're right there more often than not.
Have you seen what FanDuel is doing now lately? It is really just amazing. I had a conversation with a buddy of mine a couple of days ago about how the gambling is just like all over the place now, right? And you can gamble on just about anything. FanDuel is offering under the icon NBA Floor General, Dave, and I'll give you Miami and Philadelphia as an example. They give you about 10 to 15 bets that you can make. I'll give you an example. Bam Adebayo to score a field goal. Okay, that's not bad, Scott. Assisted by Jimmy Butler. That's not too bad. In the third quarter. Oh, okay. Between the 12-minute mark and the 9-minute mark. And they're giving you goofy 11-1, 10-1, 5-1. Joel Embiid to score a field goal, assisted by Tyrese Maxey in the third quarter, but it's got to be between the 9 and 12-minute mark. I mean, that's goofy. Listen, I'll bet on 2 cockroaches crossing the road, but to bet on a guy scoring a bucket, it's got to be assisted by this one guy, and it's got to come within this 3-minute stretch, and all I'm getting is 5, 6, 7, up to 11-1. I mean, it is amazing. There's like no limits. There's no limits to what they'll put out there, and I'm sure someone will be betting this stuff. Knock yourself out, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, as someone who sat in these books and took bets for a long, long time, I don't know if they will. You can offer – I use this equivalent because people understand it. You go to the Cheesecake Factory. Have you been to the Cheesecake Factory?
Yeah. Yes.
It's like the biggest textbook you had in college, right? It is so thick. And there are multiple pages and menus, and you get confused. It's too much. And then you end up ordering a Reuben or a burger.
Or a burger,
right?
yeah.
You
cheeseburger and
get
fries.
what you get, what you like, because you're like, I don't know, unless you're really in the mood to try something different. It's going to take time for anyone to get interested in this stuff. And it gets so micro betting, narrow focused, that it takes away for a lot of people, I think, the enjoyment of the game. Again, I'm not the customer. I say that all the time. I wouldn't put it up if it was my book. I'd want more of, the vanilla ice cream. Give me vanilla, chocolate, strawberry. And let's do that really good. And then we'll expand it to become like Baskin-Robbins, where 31 flavors was enough. Like, we don't need more than that. So, I don't know. It's for people, a little bit older, we look at this stuff, and, I mean, it's hard to find in the menu itself, in the apps, like all these different tabs and all these different things. I don't know. Sound like the old man yelling at the cloud, Wetzel. But seems to be too much sometimes.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So, all right, let's keep to the basics. Miami 51, Philadelphia 39. Over under 190.5. Are they going to get 102 points 101 points in the second half after 90 in the first?
No.
I don't think so either.
Under.
Yeah.
Under.
I still like the under. Still like the under. All right, in-game live PrimeTime continues here on the Grid.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year. Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
Victor Hovland right now can probably hit it right where he's looking on the range. But the problem is when you get out to a golf course, especially like Augusta National, it's a big, big picture. You can see every shot in the world, but the targets are really, really small.
I feel like whoever we pick is going to win. Like, I feel like we have the power to choose the winner of this tournament.
I know. I'm surprised more guys haven't reached out.
And they might, and they probably will.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel and Dave Sharapan. We got NBA. We got a couple of hockey games, a couple of baseball games. We got some previews to get to. So some of these series are concerned, NHL and NBA. But right now, just keeping a close eye on Miami and Philadelphia. And, Philadelphia, with you thought we're going to come out strong here third quarter, down, 11-12, 51-39 at the half, 12. Not so. It's still an 11-point lead, Dave. The over-under, it was down to 188.5. It's you'd mentioned 185. I got it a few times. I got it at 208. I think I put it in at 196, 198. They got like 3 or 4 times. I'm kind of hoping it gets down to around 182 or so before I then go over and try and get a nice fat middle. You have a number in mind before you start playing some overs? Unless you want to play over now.
That was it. Right. It was 187, 186 and a half. I was just thinking, and I'm watching it. It keeps bouncing close. I saw 188 and a half in one book. I got 187 and a half. I saw it in another book, but yeah, I would love to get it to 180, where 185 is the winner, but 185 and a half may be the bottom. So I don't know. This is, the heat. I got it on. I'm watching it, and I'm going, man, is it me, or is every trip down the floor for the Sixers? There's no easy buckets. There's nothing happening easy right now for them at all. So it's going to take a lot of effort. And a lot of times, when a team expends that much effort coming back, it ends with them getting close, tying the game, and then losing. So hopefully we can get this thing close to pick 'em by the end of the third quarter. We've still got 9 minutes left. So we got time. We got time.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen, Dave. I mean, I hate to tell you. I just don't see the run in them. I mean, the Knicks took so much heat for winning when that moved them into the number 2 slot. And people said, oh, now you got to face Philadelphia. How crazy is that? Blah, 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 blah. Well, as it turns out, they're going to have to face Miami if this score keeps the way it is. So kind of pick your poison. But this is, going to bring up days of, Alonzo Mourning versus Patrick Ewing. 85-80 is going to be your winning literally score if these two teams hook up, because the Knicks can play, they can score, but they can play great defense. And if Miami's going to play this type of defense, they've allowed 47 points in basically 2.5 quarters. That's going to be a fun series, but, you're going to have to be a Knick or Heat fan to watch that series.
Right. Yeah. You remember how good those were back in the day, though? The Knicks and the Heat series and all those other games. Like, there were so many. When you get the right matchups, it brings up so many good memories of series. Did I just peek at this NBA? Did you look at the NBA playoffs, the series prices? Have you looked at some of these series prices?
Yeah.
For what we got coming up?
Yeah.
This is going to be great.
I'm a little surprised Cleveland. I'll start with that one. I'm a little surprised Cleveland is a 2-1 favorite over Orlando, minus 198, 2-1 basically.
Right.
4-5 matchup. Both have shown the ability to win on the road. I actually like Orlando in the series. I'm surprised that price is that big. Are you?
Yeah, it makes sense, because if Cleveland wins the first game, then it has to jump up significantly.
Right.
So you start almost a little bit higher, thinking they're going to win the first game. So you're already at that point. And a lot of times, you're not handicapping game 1, but you are. You know what I mean? And now there's bets where you can bet win a game 1, win the series. And that's a cool bet that a lot of books offer now. I'm surprised that the number of games in the series for almost all of them are the same price. The 5 games plus 220, the 6 games plus 200, 7 games plus 230. That's telling me that we don't know. We're just going to put this all up, and we're going to see how it goes in game 1. This will be one of those that we'll get a better feel for once we see it. It's a lot to prove for Orlando. First time out, right? First time in a series like this. So,
yeah,
we'll see what they're made. It was a great regular season. Playoff basketball is a little bit different.
How about Milwaukee? I got a feeling Milwaukee's going to lose. I got a feeling the Greek freak, who's really not Greek, isn't going to play either. I mean, he legitimately sat out the last 3 games, and now they're wondering whether he's going to play. And I tell you, if they can't get up and down the court like Indiana can, and Milwaukee wants to do, I think the Pacers win that series.
Pacers are super live. That's what that number tells me. And that number screams that Giannis is probably not going to play any games. He's definitely not playing the first 2, is what I heard out here. And if he don't play the first 2, they split and go back to Indiana. That place is going to be super electric, fired up. Talk about a home court starved for playoff basketball. That's a fun basketball team, period. Style of play, will it translate into the playoffs? We'll see. But, yeah, there's no way you would have told me 2 weeks ago that Milwaukee was going to play Indiana in the first round and the price would be minus 120 or minus 118. I would have believed you even if you already had the answer. I would have said, no, there's no way. You'd have won everything I had, I bet you, and I'd have lost. So I think this screams dog live. At worst, a split. And then I don't know how far you flip it. If they split and Indiana then becomes the home court advantage, do you make a minus 130? I don't know, because then they immediately come back with Milwaukee money, and you have both sides. So this will be fun. I think this is going to be a fun series.
Yeah. Dallas minus 142 against the Clippers.
Yeah.
Dallas is playing great basketball, right? Will that translate into the postseason? But I will say they are playing really good ball. I know you got some buddies that seem to love the Clippers. I got to see it to believe it. I think I'd lay the 142 on Dallas.
Yeah, they're all bummed out, all the guys that have these huge Clippers futures. I mean, they thought Kawhi was healthy, or they were playing him enough that he would be healthy for this, and we're not sure about any of it. The Clippers kind of, I don't know if they limped into the playoffs, but they weren't playing their best basketball in March, for sure. So Dallas is, a lot of times, this is that team that everybody gets on now, starts to bet, starts to keep playing game by game by game. And if they win this first series, it's going to be, I mean, obviously, if the 8 seed beats OKC, then Dallas is going to be favored in the next series with home court. If OKC wins, it's going to be close to this price. You know, Dallas is small dog, small favorite. It's going to be, there's Dallas's road, not only in this series, if they win this series, the road to the Western Conference Finals is set up perfectly for them.
They got the Lakers. Well, we'll do Phoenix. We'll go in order. Why not? Phoenix minus 136 against Minnesota. No Karl Anthony Towns is going to hurt them. That was the one team, but boy, the way they were playing, good mix of veteran players, young guys, presence in the middle to maybe go after the Joker with Gobert. But don't know if Anthony Towns is going to play or not. Still waiting for Phoenix to be the Phoenix Suns and turn it on and be this great team that everyone thought they would be. That's going to be a real good series. I look forward to that series.
I do too. I think I love when teams not really come out of nowhere, but I like to see the ascension of teams. So I'm a little bit biased for Minnesota, but Phoenix Suns have been my favorite team since back in the day with, Thunder Dan Marley, and when Barkley was on the Suns, Kevin Johnson. I was a kid in Pittsburgh just dreaming about the Suns and going to Phoenix. Ended up living there for 4 years, going to games. I got so many different Phoenix Suns hats. I got jackets. I got all this stuff. I would love to see Phoenix make a run. That city loves the Suns. I'm not sure they love this team, though. This team drives you crazy. I don't know. How many times you go, Phoenix this is year. They're going to do it. Yes. Right. And then they go and lay an egg in a playoff series, right? They have been hurt off and on pretty much the whole season. We haven't really seen a healthy, 3 guys all play for Phoenix all year. Maybe flashes of it. I don't know. I think this series goes 6 or 7 games. It ain't even close. Like 2-2, 3-2, 3-3. and we're going 6 or 7. That's my favorite bet, to bet this either goes 6 or 7 games. There's no 4, there's no 5. I don't even think it's an option. Both teams win in each other's buildings. Fun series.
Denver laying 4-1 against the Lakers. Wow.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
they've beaten the Lakers 8 straight, but I looked it up. Every one of those games were right around 10 points or less. I think 12 was the highest number. So it wasn't like they're getting blown out, but they would lose. I don't know if they're live dogs or not, including getting swept, last year in the playoffs. Every one of those games, the same thing. 11 points or less. One game was 11 points. The other 3 were all single digits. So Lakers plus 310, live dogs.
You can have them if you want it. I'm good. I've had enough fun kind of fading the Lakers the last couple of years. Listen, the last year I was in the room was the last year that they won the championship in the bubble, and I actually kind of went in with them when we were, taking the bets, because they didn't have to travel. They stayed relatively healthy. Everything went right. And they were all kind of chilling out, playing in the same place. Everybody was playing the same. It was fine. I think the Lakers, I don't know how they're going to beat Denver in a 7-game series. Are they going to keep it close in some games? Absolutely. Are they going to steal a game? Maybe. Denver's the best team to me in the West as of right now. I love Jokic. I love Murray. Watching those two guys play together, that's one of the best two-man games you got. Throw in the rest of the supporting cast. Good coach, defending champ, calm, knows how to win basketball games, close games. I saw the initial money lay Denver, and I thought that's where I would have played it too. I haven't done anything with it. I'd love to see Denver win this thing quick. So their next game, because their next series is going to be hard. Their next series is going to be tough.
How about this? How about the Joker to have the most points in that series, plus 195 on FanDuel?
Is that the lowest number?
Yeah.
Is he the favorite?
LeBron is next at 270. AD, Anthony Davis, plus 280. And then Jamal Murray. He takes some games off points-wise, the Joker.
I was just going to say, there may be a game where he has to facilitate, right? He has to do assists and get everyone else involved. So I think consistency, the best bet in that group is probably LeBron, no? LeBron's going to play every game. He's going to score 25 or more every game, right? So it's just a matter of games.
Because AD takes games off too, right?
I can't count on him to play. If they play a 6 or 7 game series, I can't even. I don't know if he's going to play all the games. Yeah, I don't think him. No.
All right. Got a goofy one for you. We'll take a break. We'll come back. I got a goofy one to pay 17 to 19 to 1. Whoa. Not asking that much. That and the Black Cloud coming up next.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year. Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
Victor Hovland right now can probably hit it right where he's looking on the range. But the problem is when you get out to a golf course, especially like Augusta National, it's a big, big picture. You can see every shot in the world, but the targets are really, really small.
I feel like whoever we pick is going to win. Like, I feel like we have the power to choose the winner of this tournament.
I know. I'm surprised more guys haven't reached out.
And they might, and they probably will.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Welcome back to InGame Live Prime Time. Wrapping up hour number one of our 2-hour extravaganza, so don't go anywhere as we got a full hour to go. Not done with this hour, though, as we keep an eye on the NBA and everything else that's going on with our Black Cloud double play of the day. I'm gonna fall into a trap here. I know this is not a PP public parlay, but I know the whole world's gonna be on the Dallas Stars tonight. They need to get a point to clinch the number one seed in the Western Conference. If they lose and Vancouver wins tomorrow night at Winnipeg, then Vancouver will be the number one seed. Dallas is at home against the St. Louis Blues, playing for nothing. So not going to lay the extreme price there of over 2-1, David. They're like minus 250 on this game. But I will have them win in regulation this afternoon. It was minus 145. That's a more manageable price. I don't think they're going to need overtime to win. So give me Dallas minus the 145 against St. Louis, which is playing for nothing. Last game of the regular season, you know, what do the Blues have to gain, right? Really nothing. Is there any angst against them against Dallas? I don't think so. So Stars with everything on the line, home ice. Give me Dallas. I know the whole world's going to be on Dallas tonight, but I'm going to do it just the same, even though St. Louis is actually 2-1 against Dallas this year with the one loss coming into overtime. So they played Dallas tough, but give me the Stars tonight, Dave. And we hit with the Dodgers last night, laying a run and a half.
I was just going to say, the 1.5 graphic looks great with the Black Cloud play of the night. It worked yesterday. Let's go for 2 in a row. All right. I think Dallas wants the 1 seed. That's the question a lot of times when you're at this point. So Dallas wins at home. I hope it doesn't even need an empty netter, Wetzel. We can get that one done. That's a good thing. And then, we got more hockey, Edmonton and Arizona, different type of game. After that, I can't wait to hear what you got for me on the other side. You said you got a goofy one. That wasn't even a goofy one. We got more coming after the break.
We got a goofy one. Pay big bucks. Big bucks coming up next.
smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And welcome in. It's InGame Live, PrimeTime, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for another 60 minutes watching betting in the world of sports. Ah, yes, we got play-in game number 1 tonight underway. They're in the third quarter. Philadelphia cut the lead to 2 at one point, but it's now Miami 68-63. We got the Hawks and Bulls tipping off in about an hour or so. We got some hockey tonight need to get to, maybe the last game ever in Arizona. We got the Dallas Stars, and we got a couple baseball games and a whole slew of other things to get to. George Kurtz will join us in about 15 minutes, and we'll get Cam Stewart in about 40. He's got his golf picks for the weekend. So what's going on, Dave? How are you tonight? For the new viewers, listeners, what are you keeping your eye on this evening?
Kind of obvious, isn't it? I got all the Sixers stuff. That's it.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's what we got. I even broke out the bucket hat. It's like the rally cap in baseball. When you need buckets, you put on the bucket cap. Okay? Let's go Sixers. Got this thing down to 5. All right? This can happen. If you're looking, I said, let's try to get this thing to within 2 or tied at the end of the third quarter. We're right on pace, baby. We're right there. Take over the game in the fourth. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Right.
You gave the Black Cloud play tonight for the people that may be just joining us. It's Dallas minus 1.5. Kind of chalky, but that's probably going to happen. This is when favorites start to win and cover. Start to win and get people, like Kevin Walsh says, to the window. Oh, well, just want to get to the window and, ride this thing out. Speaking of getting to the window in Phillies win 7-6 final. They were up 7-1. That bullpen's going to make you sweat all season long, that Phillies bullpen. Angels leading 3-2 over Tampa, going to the bottom of the 8th. Any interest in the Rays at this point, Scott?
Yeah, that 2-1, 2 at-bats, put a couple of shekels on Tampa Bay. Why not? It's a live underdog with 2 full at-bats left. Nobody out bottom of the 8th inning. Nobody on, just starting the bottom of the inning. So I'd take a flyer on that. Or you could do over 6.5 at -138. This way, if the Angels score twice, that guarantees them a win. Or if the Tampa Bay scores one time, that guarantees you the win. But I like going for the gusto. So I think Tampa Bay is live plus 210. Why not? How about something even better than that? I got how about a 17-1 shot? We ran down the playoff series, right? Cleveland, Orlando, Milwaukee, Indiana, Dallas Clippers, Phoenix, Minnesota, and Lakers and Denver. Those are the 5 we know right now, pending the outcome of these play-in games. FanDuel's offering us for each series, not together, 1 or more games of that particular series to go to overtime, plus 190. If you think 2 or more of those games in any of those particular series will go to overtime, and you have to pick the series, it's not like you get all 4. 17-1, 16-1, or 19-1 in the Denver Lakers series. Can we get if we play all series, all we need is just 1 series to have 2 overtime games. Can we get that?
You think 1 series is going to have 2 overtime games?
7 games? Orlando, Cleveland comes to mind, 2 low-scoring teams, or, that wants to play a little defense. Philadelphia loves to play defense. Miami loves to play defense. You got to get the games, the teams that, play the lower scoring games. I think your chances of getting an overtime game are better with those. You might. You just said it before. You thought Phoenix and Minnesota was going to be a great series down to the wire every game.
You might get 1 in that. but like asking for 2.
I need
like
2.
This is what you do. You
I got
always
2 kids
do
in college.
extra.
So one's not going to pay any bills. That'll just no. I got two
I
kids in college.
understand, but this is what you do. You always go that extra step sometimes.
I know.
Sometimes
they offer it. They offer it to me. Why do they got to offer? Why can't they just offer 1? Why can't we be satisfied with just 1? But no, they got to drag me in with 2.
Right.
That big 17, 19 to 1 jumps off the page. It says, buy me, Scott, buy me. It's like walking down an aisle, with the Cabbage Patch dolls. Buy me.
Do you remember the Cabbage Patch dolls craze? That was incredible.
Oh, that was huge.
We were selling them. We were selling them out of my dad's store in downtown Pittsburgh. It was called Ralph's Discount. It was unbelievable. And we kept getting them and we kept selling them. And I was a teenager and I was like, what is going on? Why do people like these so much? There was no explanation.
Things in the world. Ugliest things in the world.
No explanation.
Right? None.
We're going to have the boys try to find a picture, to put up if we can for the next segment, along with George Kurtz. We just got word that George Kurtz is going to join us in the next segment. That's very exciting. George and I mean, while we're bald, we could probably resemble. I'd be the cool kid with the glasses, but I could resemble a Cabbage Patch Kid back in the day, right? He could look like this. That a couple of them had hair, some of them didn't. They were like little kids. Relax on your overtime bet. I think you get 1 overtime per series, maybe 1 in 1 series, but you're asking for 2. That's a little too much. That's entire. You've gone too far. All right. I got to tell you, you're my co-host, my partner. We talk so much. Text. I'll be like, Wetzel, stop. We don't need to do that one. All right. That one's a little crazy. What series dog wins outright? Wins the series? We just went through the series prices. If you could only pick one, which dog wins?
It's in the East. It's close, but I would go with Orlando. I'll take the Magic, since the odds are a little bit better than them than Indiana. But I think both have realistic shots. But I don't think Cleveland should be a 2-1 favorite. I think that price is way out of line. So I'll take the Magic plus 166. Absolutely. Cleveland lost in the first round last year. I know that, against the Knicks, right? So is that going to motivate them that much more? Who knows? But I like this Magic team. They're a good team. I have my doubts about Cleveland. So give me the Magic. How about you?
The one I got my eye on is Minnesota. I really think they're going to be in every game. Defensive metrics all match up. Middle, they're going to make it tough to get baskets. I don't know. I don't know what we have in Phoenix. And that number tells me cautiously, if you're playing Phoenix, be careful. I hope they win both home games if they're Phoenix, because it might be in trouble if they don't. So we got to get this out of the way. Kurtz is coming on. His team's making the playoffs, and the Islanders. My team is not. So I'm trying to take away all of his ammo, all of his ammunition, whatever he's got to fire. I'm ready. I'm ready for George. I just had to get that off my chest. Sorry. Go ahead. All right.
Dad, we'll see. Is there any reason to not bet Arizona the Coyotes tonight? George Kurtz will join us next.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year. Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
Victor Hovland right now can probably hit it right where he's looking on the range. But the problem is when you get out to a golf course, especially like Augusta National, it's a big, big picture. You can see every shot in the world, but the targets are really, really small.
I feel like whoever we pick is going to win. Like, I feel like we have the power to choose the winner of the tournament.
I know. I'm surprised more guys haven't reached out.
And they might, and they probably will.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York team has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, prime time here on the grid, hour number 2. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, watching a little NBA, little hockey, little baseball. We got previews all coming up. And we welcome in our first guest of the evening, Mr. George Kurtz. You hear and see him all the time here on the grid. What's going on, George? How are you tonight?
Oh, how am I? That's not the right question to ask. It's been a long, long day, man. Between leaves, being an Uber for the kids here, trying to get to these games. I wish I would have known it was bucket hat night. I'd have worn mine.
Yes.
I had to go to the bucket hat because it's like a rally cap in baseball, all right? When you need buckets in basketball, you find the bucket hat. We found the Sixers one on my last trip home, or not home, but back east. So we went that route. We're going good. The Sixers have taken the lead. All right, George, let's get this out of the way. The Islanders are moving on to the playoffs. The Pittsburgh Penguins are not. All right, we were on last night. There were goals scored. There were things happening. The Capitals end up winning and just discounting all hopes and dreams of both the Detroit Red Wings and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Have you seen the price on the Hurricanes and the Islanders? Have you seen this ridiculous price, or is it really ridiculous because, they're going to win game 1 and they're probably going to win the series right or wrong?
Oh, I'm on the Canes to win the series. All right. I'm going to give the Islanders 2 games. All right. I'll say it's in 6, and that's probably me being an Islander fan to give them an extra game here. Canes eliminated the Islanders last year. What's changed? All right. If anything, the Canes are a better team, right? They got Jake Gensel now. Ferry Ganson theoretically is healthier. So the Islanders, all right, what? How is this team different from last year? You may or may not have Dobson. We don't know, right? Depending on how the injury goes. So, no, the Canes should eliminate the Islanders here. Like I said, my head says 5, heart says 6. So I want to give the Islanders an extra game here, but it's a bad matchup it's just a bad matchup for the Islanders.
They swept them in 2019 also in the second round, did Carolina with the Islanders.
Thanks. But, just stab me, Scott. Just go ahead and stab me.
But I will say, those were all those were all before the savior came, Patrick Waugh. 3 of those games, and each one on each other's home ice this season. The home team is 0-4, oddly enough, in this series this year. So Islanders playing great, right? 7-0-1 their last 8 heading into tonight's game, meaningless game against Pittsburgh. So, you got to have some hope, no?
There's some. The Islanders are built for the playoffs. They're not built for the regular season. They're built to pound teams, right? Pound and pound and pound and make you pay for every loose puck here. And hopefully, you get a couple of breaks. The puck goes in, or Sorokin and Varlow steal a game or two. Islanders have to stay out of the penalty box, right? They're I think they're number 32 in the NHL in killing penalties. They are god awful at it. So they have to stay out of the penalty box here. And the problem for the Islanders, Carolina can do whatever they want. They can take 8,000 penalties because the Islanders can't score power play goals either. Islanders special teams are just a huge weakness here. So it's like it was like, listen, we don't take any penalties against us. We won't take any against you. Just play 5-on-5. If they can do that, I think they've got a puncher's chance in the series. I do. That being said, they can't do that. It's been a problem all year long. They know they can't allow power plays to the other team, yet they still give it to them over and over and over again. Islanders are also one of the oldest teams in the NHL, old and slow. Carolina is not that.
Correct. That's true. All excellent points made there. And I like when you're a fan of the team and you can actually see through the bias sometimes. I had to learn how to do that when I got into the book business. It's the right way to approach the handicap. Look at the games tonight, George. All right. Wetzel came up with the Black Cloud play of the night last night on the Dodgers -1.5. He liked it so much, he said, you know what? I'm going to do it in a hockey game. I'm going to lay the Stars -1.5 tonight at home against the Blues, because if they win, they clinch the number 1 seed. Makes perfect sense. And I said, there it is right there. Good job. They need 1 point. Okay, so we can just play it to the end, whatever it is. George, is it that easy, Captain Chalk? That's what some people have been known to call you. You just lay it with Dallas, or what?
Yeah, I'm going with Dallas as well here for the reason you mentioned above here. I can't see at St. Louis. You think they're done laying down here? Dallas, they're at home too, right? It's a home game. It's on TNT, so it's a nationally televised game. Everything points towards them. So you can parlay in with Edmonton as well, which I'm going to do here. So I'm going to go that direction there as far as Dallas and Edmonton. You can play it any way you want here. The Edmonton game probably scares me a little bit more than the Dallas game does. Although theoretically, we'll see what happens there. Edmonton's still waiting to find out if they're going to play the Kings or Vegas. All right. So we'll see how that works out as well here. But give me the Stars and the Oilers tonight.
I'm surprised you're going against Arizona, George. Arizona, last game in Arizona, the place seats, about 5,000, should be rocking today. And Arizona's actually pretty good at home, 21-19, believe it or not. They have a winning record at home. Edmonton's playing for nothing. Why not the Coyotes? Nice little fat plus 150 or so, no?
Because I've been wrong on the last 2 times, right? They keep screwing me over here. So I'm going to go back to it and say that I'm going to finally get this right. Like I said, I'm not kidding. I've been wrong with them. I think did they beat Edmonton on last Friday night or whatever it was, and they beat Vancouver as well.
Yeah.
They had 2 games. They had no business winning. No business winning here. So the other option is this. Dallas is -260. I don't want to pay that. I don't want to lay the puck and a half either, so I need a parlay partner. And this is it. There's no baseball. All right, that ends early tonight. Great job, MLB. On a Wednesday night, we're done at by 10 o'clock Eastern. So I'm just running out of options here. Dallas is not like Edmonton. I think we talked last week. I loved Hyman and Edmonton to win the game. That happened here. It's always one of my favorite plays. I did not want to play Matthews today for an anytime goal. I think there's a lot of pressure on him. So I don't have any plays here. There's no magic formula here because due to the lack of games here. So I'm not going to bet on Arizona. I can't do that. Give me the Oilers.
I was going to go down to Arizona, go to the game. I didn't want to miss this show if I was going to do so, but I also didn't want to pay $1,000 to go to a funeral because the team's done. The get-in price was about $1,000 tonight to go watch the last game that may ever be played in Arizona, although they left some door open for them to come back in 5 years or some other thing.
All right, 5 years. He's got to get a stadium built there. And Bettman wants a stadium there. He wants a team there. So I don't think this is the last game for Arizona. And they're keeping the name, right? It's still the Arizona Coyotes. It'll just be defunct for 5 years. I don't know. And we'll get the, Salt Lake Elks or whatever they're going to call themselves there. So I don't think it's the last game for Arizona. It's going to be on a little hiatus.
Yeah. Ironically, if they would have just gone to the games now, they wouldn't even be leaving. You don't have to wait. It's like a 5-year timeout. So it's nice to say. I don't know if it's actually going to happen. George, let's swing it over to baseball real quick because your Yankees came back again today. And man, oh man, you always keep it very real with the Yankees, good or bad. Are you ready to concede that the Yankees are actually good? Like, are they going to win? They are the favorites to win the division. And are you ready to say they're going to win the division? Like, are we good? April 17th?
Are you good? Well, it depends on what your definition of good is. Are they good? Sure. Do I think they'll win more than 81 games? Yes. So by that definition, sure, they're good. Do I think they'll win the division? No, I still think that's Baltimore. I think Toronto has an outside shot too. But I'll tell you what, you watch the Yankees and Toronto in the early going, and they sort of are what they always are. Toronto just disappoints. I love their roster. They should play better than what they actually do. And it's just disappointing because I think this team from 1 to 26 on the roster might be the best team in the American League East, but they just don't seem to put it together for whatever reason. I think today is another, I don't trust the manager, Schneider with some of the moves he makes here. For the Yankees, I mean, there are times they look a lot like last year's team. They don't hit at all. Well, they had 4 hits in game 1 of the series, 6 hits in game 2. And you throw that in the fact now that they don't seem to catch the ball either. All right, Torres is just, what the hell what's going on? Rizzo's made something like 6 errors already. I know they took a couple away him. They had a 2-hop at him today, a boing, boing, that he just off his chest, and they called it a hit. There's no such thing as errors anymore, which is a big pet peeve of mine here. Yeah. But it's still a big comeback win tonight. Soto is doing the damage we know he's going to do. He's going to get $500 million. But the biggest problem with the Yankees might be this. You could throw a parade when any Yankee starter goes past 5 innings. All right? I mean, really a parade. They just don't do it. Stroman did it today. Fantastic. That bullpen is going to be toast by Memorial Day.
George, good job as always, my friend. We'll do it again, no doubt, soon here on the grid, somewhere along the line, bud.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year. Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
Victor Hovland right now can probably hit it right where he's looking on the range. But the problem is when you get out to a golf course, especially like Augusta National, it's a big, big picture. You can see every shot in the world, but the targets are really, really small.
I feel like whoever we pick is going to win. Like, I feel like we have the power to choose the winner of this tournament.
I know. I'm surprised more guys haven't reached out.
And they might, and they probably will.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night, I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live prime time here on the grid. Thanks to George Kurtz joining us there for a couple moments. We got Cam Stewart in about 15. We'll go over some hockey stuff with him, no doubt, and a bunch of his golf picks for the upcoming weekend. So, good news, bad news. Good news, Dave, with Tampa Bay and the Angels. We suggested playing them when they were down 3-2. They actually scored 2 runs to go up 4-3, became monster favorites. So if you're paying attention, you should have then bet the Angels. You always like to hedge your bet, especially when they were getting like plus 250. But the Angels, the bad news, have come back and retaken the lead as they go to the bottom of the ninth inning. So, but again, 5-4 heading to the bottom of the ninth. If you followed us and took our suggestion, you should always hedge when you have the ability. So hopefully you guys did do that. So 5-4 Angels heading to the bottom of the ninth. You want to double down on the Tampa Bay again? That's up to you. Don't know if I would necessarily do that, but looks like it's a pretty good back and forth affair. As is Philadelphia and Miami. What's the latest there with the Heat and Sixers?
89-88, 4 minutes, 12 seconds to go. The line keeps flipping, the 1.5. The total's off, but it's back on pace to fall in the mid-190s, which if you were watching the show earlier, the initial number was 208, 207.5. Under, went under again when you got into the high 190s. So we were looking for that bottom to be around 185, 186, 187. I think I saw as high as or as low as 187.5. So it's going to looks like it's going to fall right in the middle. So hopefully that's the case. Although nothing is going to be easy. This is sitting on 89-88. Yeah. Probably has some missed clank shots. Some other opportunities, turnovers is going to happen. Things have really tightened up. Miami's the small favorite right now on the money line, minus 140, minus 1.5 with the spread. At this point, Scott, I think you gotta really just do the money lines. Like there's just not enough time to be laying more than I think 2 points. So 1.5 is okay. But this game could fall one easy. I mean, when you get down to 3 minutes and it's still a 1 point game, it can fall one. So just be aware of that as you're watching. And I'm not taking this bucket hat off until the Sixers are ahead. In fact, I might not take it off the rest of the game. Although if things don't turn around, I might have to go back to the other hat. We've talked about this before. Are you a superstitious gambler?
Not as much as I used to be. Oh. I definitely always was. Sit in a chair, don't get up. One thing I do a lot is like if you try and watch as many games as possible. And, it does seem like whenever I'm watching something that I'm betting on, one team will never score if I have the over. I'll turn the channel off and then I'll come back and somehow or another they scored 10 points in 1 minute. I'll start watching and then they go another minute without scoring it. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I just can't watch. Okay. Yeah. That stuff I still do. Yeah. But as far as all the other goofiness, not too much anymore now. Now it's just I could lose no matter what.
That's true. I think there's certain things you don't do though, because that's going to lead to either something bad or feel like a mush or all these other things. Like when someone tells you, there's 3 minutes to go in the game, you got this. That's done. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, you don't do that.
I never say that. Never say that until it's over. I mean, even when it's good. Or the lock word. I don't like using the lock word ever. When someone says, "Oh, that's a lock." Oh, okay. Is it a combination lock or a key lock? I used to ask in the book because there's a difference. So, yeah, there's a couple things I think are on the list. Embiid's on the line. They trail 94, 93 Heat, approaching the 2-minute mark. Who's winning this basketball game? Right now, make your call. Who's winning?
I'm going to go with Jimmy B. He's won a heck of a lot more bigger games than anyone on Philadelphia. So give me Jimmy Butler. At 5.5's looking pretty good too, by the way. If you bought that originally, I'm rooting for Philadelphia. So because I don't want to. No, I'm actually rooting for Miami, and I don't want to root against you. But as a Celtic guy, and we do have Boston in our 3-leg parlay, so we got to consider that. I don't want them facing Miami. So Miami wins, they become the 7th seed. And then Boston will face the winner of Philadelphia, Chicago, Atlanta in the first round.
You know what? I forgot about that. We have Milwaukee in that 3-game parlay. I don't feel good about that. I don't feel good about that anymore. I feel better about Boston. We got Denver in that one.
Denver.
So we'll be all right.
If you could replace Milwaukee with anybody, who would you replace the Bucks with? Not that we can, but just for blanks and giggles. Dallas?
Who would I replace the Bucks with? I don't think it's the Knicks. I don't think it's Cleveland. Yeah. I think it has to be a Western Conference team, no?
Yeah.
I think with the path known now, I think it's not Phoenix, or it's the winner of the Dallas and Clippers series.
Right.
I think, right? It's if
we
think
they
Dallas
don't get
is going
Denver,
to win,
they would get OKC in the second round.
That's
Denver's
what I mean.
Number 2 seed. Yeah.
Right. So I think it's the winner of that series. And right now, I mean, I got a lot of guys. I told you, Tommy the Lip and a couple other bad guys. They're all on the Clippers, but they're not happy about it because of the injuries. So if you think Dallas wins, that's the one. If you think the Clippers win, that's the one. So yeah, I would throw them out. I don't feel confident at all anymore about the Bucks being even in the Eastern Conference Finals. Even if they win the first series, I think they could lose the second series. By the way, it's 96-96 with less than a minute to go. Just under a minute to go. We got an unbelievable basketball game. Come right down to the end. Oh, my goodness.
We could have our first overtime game. How about that?
How about this?
See that?
You talk
See
about
that?
the overtime.
Why didn't they offer that tonight? Why didn't they offer it tonight? They must have known. Both games. No, unfortunately not. Watch both games go to overtime tonight. Unbelievable. They know.
Both games are
I know you say no, but they know. They know.
They don't know nothing. Relax.
They know. When everything is said and done, Eastern Conference playoffs in the NHL. Florida, Tampa Bay, Boston, Toronto. Give me some thoughts on some of those two series.
Florida, Tampa Bay. Boy, that's an absolute war, right? I think we get a lot of hockey in that game, in that series. I think we're going to get an overtime game in that series, right? That one is going to be
definitely play. They offered that.
Yeah, right. That one we're going to get at least one. You might get two in that one. That one, I think, again, Florida didn't want to see this team. Florida did not want to see this team. Right? I mean, they won the game and they got there and all right, we got to beat them every time. Right one, first series out of the chute is Tampa. Easy on the travel, hard on the body. This one's going to be physical. This one's going to be nasty. I can't wait. I think this goes 6 or 7 games. Tell you that right now. The other series is who? Boston and who?
Boston and Toronto. They've beaten the Maple Leafs 3 times. In the postseason, 2013, 18, and 19. Any reason to think that it's not going to be 2024 as well? Original 6 franchises.
This is going to be, and we'll have Cam on, and he'll talk about the golf, but he'll also talk about the Maple Leafs having to face the Bruins. He's seen it his whole life, and I've seen it my whole life. The Leafs aren't going to win this series. It would be great if they did. It would be great because this would be that first step toward slaying the dragon. I mean, they won a series last year, right? And everybody got hopes up, and then boom. Didn't happen. I mean, tonight the Leafs are getting, not that they had anything to play for, but they're losing 6-3, a minute and a half left in the third period, and Austin Matthews did not get that 70th goal. That would have been an awesome moment. He hasn't scored yet. There's a minute 36 left, and doesn't look like he's going to get it. So, good season by them. Good luck, Toronto. Boston in what, 5 or 6? 5 or 6.
I'm hoping. Capitals knock off the Rangers, upset the Rangers. They'll be monster underdogs. FanDuel in New York, for some reason, doesn't have the series prices. They have the icon for series prices, but when you go to that, it gives you the games, not the series prices, which is someone screwed up. So I'm not sure what the series price is on Rangers Capitals, but is that the series price minus 375 against Washington?
Yep.
Or is that the game?
No, that's series. That's a series.
But they're giving you over under 5.5. That's kind of weird.
Number of games.
Oh, number of games. Oh, isn't that cute? You can bet the number of games.
Yes, great job on
the graphic
boys.
There. Yeah.
Ovi's last stand, right? Ovi's last stand. This is, I mean, he's going to have to pick them up and put them on his back and carry them. And it's 99-96, and the Sixers are leading, by the way. 99-96. 24 seconds left, Wetzel. They may cover the spread, too, on top of it. Not only are they going to win, they may cover the spread. You can
I don't need any
buckets.
overtime.
I got my own buckets. See?
Take the 3. Or take the 2, rather. I don't need a 3.
No.
Oh,
no.
Block shot. Wow. Oh, they called a foul. Sixers are going to win. 2 free throws are going to be up 5 with 24 seconds left. This game may go over. This game's going to go over.
Good.
Unbelievable.
Cam, next.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year. Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy in the first half of the first round, you clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
Victor Hovland right now can probably hit it right where he's looking on the range. But the problem is when you get out to a golf course, especially like Augusta National, it's a big, big picture. You can see every shot in the world, but the targets are really, really small.
I feel like whoever we pick is going to win. Like, I feel like we have the power to choose the winner of this tournament.
I know. I'm surprised more guys haven't reached out.
And they might, and they probably will.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your Final Four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets and when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. As we watch the end, final seconds, Philadelphia and Miami. Heat led basically the entire game, but it's the 76ers on top now by 3. 19 seconds left. They're having difficulty inbounding the basketball. They're going to play the foul game, no doubt, if they can get the ball in. Holy fudge. And they still cover this thing, but everything is done. They're shooting the ball. What are you shooting the ball for? Dribble out. What are you doing? I got to worry about the over-under. Cam Stewart now joins us here. What's going on, Cam? You got Philadelphia or do you got Miami in this game?
I actually I pulled a Sharapan and I got both. I got Miami pregame, and then once Miami got up, the old beautiful live game gambling. Finally doing some things smart, Scott. It's all business now since my house is falling apart. I need to win like 90% of my bets. So no more random horse racing at Parks, Philadelphia. No more of this crap. I'm literally betting games, going harder units, and I got to get my life together. It'd be nice if I had more money. That trip to New York, as I told you, it absolutely killed me. But I think I'm taking Chicago in the game 2. But this is what I'm here to do. I got goal picks coming up. This is it. I'm all in on the Arizona Coyotes tonight.
Ooh, yes. There you go.
Last game in Arizona, plus 1.5. Money line, minus 1.5. Doan to score. Who's with the Coyotes? Shane Doan, the younger Doan, plus 450. Yep. Let's do this thing. Shout out to my boy Hainzer. We talked about this. Also, this bet has a double threat. I have Arizona at the start of the season, 75.5 points. Third 75.
Oh,
I'm pulling a Morency. There's no hedging. It's for Gardners. All in on Arizona. Give me a point tonight, but I want 2. Worst case scenario, overtime loss. Can't lose in reg. Can't lose in reg tonight. Very, very important game for me. People care about the Bulls game. I care about the Coyotes-Oilers game, which means nothing to anybody but this guy.
Now,
wait
a minute now. Now, you just got through saying, let me jump in here, Dave. You just got through saying that you're going to be gambling smart. You got bills, you got this, you that. No more fooling around, right? You already, in essence, have a bet on Arizona. Why are you doubling down on Arizona? It's
I'm going to be honest.
Not the hedge, but you're going to double down on this goofy team.
Scott, I'd be an idiot not to. It's their last game at home, and if Edmonton, think about this. If Arizona wins this game, here's the deal. Say Edmonton's already, they beat the Sharks by 7 goals their last game. What is their goal? To get to the playoffs. I don't even know if McDavid's going to see the damn ice. He got his record last game. Everybody on the Oilers scored. Is there any more incentives I don't know about? Can't the Coyotes go out in style before they go to Utah? You're right, Scott. It's probably not the smartest move, but I need 2 points. And there's no guarantee. Anyway, I have reasoning behind these bets. I liked them before. Dave, tell me you like the Coyotes tonight. Please tell me you like the Coyotes tonight.
I like the over. I like the over. All right. I'm on Dallas. We're on Dallas. I think Dallas wins.
Okay.
Edmonton plays tomorrow. So you figure they play the Avalanche tomorrow in a game that neither team wants to even come out and touch the ice, right? It's because the matchups are already set for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you might have to worry a little bit about tonight. I don't know what the atmosphere is going to be like down there, Cam, whether it's going to be more like a celebration or a funeral. So, they're going to fill the place. I looked at going down there. I was going to shoot down there tonight and go to the game. Like I said, dime for tickets. Dime to go watch a meaningless Edmonton-Arizona game. I hope you win a dime on this by playing it. So that's good. But What about the golf? Let's just get right into it now because we're coming off a huge Masters, and it's so much going on.
Yes.
With this week, with the playoffs and the baseball and all this other stuff, the RBC heritage gets lost in the shuffle. That's why people need your plays and things you got. What do you got?
Let me tell you something about the RBC heritage. Out of all these stupid tournaments on the tour, this tournament is almost a major to me. It is the only tournament that where history repeats itself. When Boo Weekly wins, other guys always show up. This course is tight. Tight. So what does it present itself? Straight drivers of the golf ball. Putting, small greens. I'm telling you, I'm fading Rory McIlroy in every matchup. Why? Because he can't hit the broadside of a barn. I don't care if he drives at 380. If he drives at 380 into the Spanish moss trees, my guys are going to beat him. I got a huge matchup bet Fleetwood against him, and I got another one with Aberg against him. So I'm ready to go. Here are my picks. Tommy Fleetwood, 22-1. Great showing at the Masters, prime form. He has been so damn close. Lost in a playoff to my fellow Canadian Nick Taylor at the Canadian Open. He's going to break through the door one of these days, and I like it this week. Wyndham Clark, a little bit of a wild card, but he drives the ball straight, and I'll tell you, not happy at the Masters. I expect this guy to get his game back. Always close. Listen, Corey Connors does a couple things well. He plays well in Texas, and he plays well on courses like Harbour Town. 55-1, straight as an arrow. Brian Harmon, do we have a theme here? Same deal. Little guy, keeps it in play, gets it done, need that putter to stay hot. Wait a minute, Mr. Poston. JT Poston. Does anybody understand? He loves leaderboards. 66-1. And Dave, if Arizona wins, what I'm going to eat at 2 o'clock in the morning? A huge hoagie sandwich, courtesy of Tom Hoagie. Let's go. Let's have a hoagie. Go Coyotes. That's what I got. I got more. Frank Font, do you want some top 10s and 20s?
Hold on, wait.
Everything else?
We're gonna have to break into this breaking news. It's 105, 104, final.
And the game. Perfect.
Sixers
we
win
win
a game.
See, this is the start, Dave. This is the start.
A three-pointer at the buzzer pushes the game over. Wetzel is speechless. Wetzel is never speechless. Did you see him looking at that television off to the side? He wanted to say so many things.
Sorry, Wetzel.
Cam. It was just one of those. He had the under, and then under again, and
I
that
feel your
was,
pain, Wetzel. I feel you, man.
That was a lot of.
Why doesn't anybody help us, Scott? He's already beat down by his family. All they do, they keep their hands out. Give us money, Scott. Okay, kids. Got to go referee. Got to go make money. Dad, can we get something? Wetzel's like an ATM machine, just handing it out. Can't even give the guy a win. You know what, gambler? You suck. You screwed me hard with the Montreal Canadiens last night, too.
Oh.
Look at this game with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Thank God I got the over. But, hey, did they beat the Islanders? What's going on in that game? What's going on in that game? Is it over? 5-4 Islanders?
5-4 Islanders. It's 5-4.
12 seconds left.
Anyway, who cares? Coyotes is my game tonight. And can you guys give me a reasoning why you like the Dallas Stars so much? But I do have something very interesting in that game. See, guys, SportsGrid guys, we have meetings and say, do your research. Well, yeah, that's what I am doing, my research. Who's going to be getting minutes tonight? His name is Wyatt Johnson of the Dallas Stars. Veterans sit. They're an older team. Younger guys play. Wyatt Johnson, shots on goal, courtesy of my boy Hainzer, too. We talked about this. Great talk before the game. 4+ shots, Dave. It pays plus 160. Over 2.5 shots, it's minus. I'm doing it all. I'm doing over 2.5, over 4, and over 5 is plus 330.
Wow.
That's what I'm doing. Wyatt Johnson. Oh, so 3 shots, 4 shots, 5 shots. Dallas Stars. I want to see this guy. Hey, dude, don't even get off the ice. Just shoot. What's Austin Matthews got tonight? 10 shots on goal, like into the third period. Anyway, he hasn't got number 70 yet. Schauffele, I have a love-hate relationship with you. You never win me money.
Come on.
Thank you, Dave. Top 10s. I better hurry up. Actually, we have time. Xander Schauffele, eighth at the Masters last week. Yeah, no, I gotta take a breath. I really need to. Scott, I honestly feel bad for you because that sucks. I just enough bad beats already. Like, can I get something that works? Schauffele, 8th at the Masters. Will he win this tournament? A lot of people think so. I don't trust him to win, but I will take him top 10 at plus 110. Actually, this number on Cantlay is wrong. I apologize, Frank Font. This one's on me. It's plus 160, I found. Plus not 120, 160. Give me more Patrick Cantlay. He plays great at this course. Scott, I'm telling you, both of those guys I think are going to have a chance. Captain Kirk, we have a theme. A lot of Georgia Bulldogs this week. A lot of guys who keep it in play. Plus 130. And my South African shy friend, Christian Bezoutenhout. What is his name? Christian Bezoutenhout. Yeah, say that 5 times. That's his name. Plus 150. I remember the first time I did a show with the guy. It was Christian Beasley. I go, yeah, don't worry. I'll stick to the golf. You stick to whatever the hell you're doing. Jake Afternoon Nap has become a very good friend of the program. Plus 140 for a top 30. And Lee, Dave, is there an actor? Who's Hodges? That's Lee Majors. I need a nickname for Hodges.
Majors.
Yeah, I need Gil Hodges. There you go. He's a CSI. Hodges. Plus 140 for CSI Hodges here for a top 30. That's what I got. Oh, I got. Do you guys actually have boards for matchups, or I will do them manually? Great job by the graphics department tonight. I'd like to say this is fine. You know what, Pat? I don't care. You guys did an awesome job with those. I gave you so many. We should have probably just done 2 big boards. That's on me. Aberg over McElroy. Pick 'em. Fleetwood plus 105 over Morikawa. And God, I must be nuts. Betting against God, and I'm on Gambler's side, and what he did to Wetzel, I am taking Schauffele plus 190 over the best player in the world, Scheffler. Hey, Scheffler, I got a message for your wife. Get pregnant after you hit 1 ball in this tournament and withdraw, and give me my money. That's an angle that no one's talking about. She almost popped out at the Masters. If this guy said, if this baby comes, he gone. And you know what? If he hits 1 shot in the tournament, we win all our bets against him. That's my angle.
I like that. He can't be worried about this after winning the Masters anyway, right? I mean,
does anybody know? I was out about helping my dad again today, and I had to go to the city to talk to the bank about these fees that I'm getting fleeced with. Anyway, it was a very disappointing day. But other than seeing my father, God, I love my dad, because that guy at the bank, I'll tell you, I hate going to the bank. I'd rather just, when I walk in there, they just look at me like a bookie, like licking his chops, like envelope fees. But I'll tell you, I'm ready to go this week. I feel really good about the RBC Heritage guys. And this has been a very successful tournament in the past, and history seems to repeat itself. So I feel good this week. Zalatoris is another guy that I looked at, and I know Carver likes him as well. But that's my team right now. Let's get it done, man. I'm ready to rock. Let's go.
First thought on the Western Conference playoffs, we went through all the matchups, and we looked at Denver and the Lakers. Yep. That's a big price. Yep. We looked at Minnesota and Phoenix. And tough one. Okay, so I'm thinking it kind of the same way with you. I think that's going to be a tough series. What about Dallas and the Clippers? That one Dallas. We're like torn. We're going.
I've already bet Dallas. I bet Dallas when they were dogs. The line flipped. Okay. You know what? Shout out to Foster and the producers last night for getting me off. I was thinking about Golden State, and these guys convinced me on Sacramento. Thank you, guys, because I smashed Sacramento in that game. Yes. Everything worked out. So that kudos to the guys behind the scenes who don't get enough credit for their solid picks. Did pretty well in Dave, I'm telling you, you guys got to bet Champions League soccer. It doesn't matter. As Wetzel said, money's green. Bayern Munich got it done again, 1-0. They were plus 140. That's what I'm all about. Both teams to score in the other game, yes. I'm telling you, we have Julio on our show. Betting soccer and these champion leagues are amazing. Like, I don't care what sport. I'll bet on anything. Just give me something that's going to come through. Sorry, Wetzel. I saw, honestly, a 3 at the buzzer, but that helped my spread bet. Yeah. Didn't it? No. I got 5 with Miami. So they were
you got 5 anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
And what's his face had the ball right underneath the basket too. Didn't take the easy 2. Nope. He did. Nope. He made the smart play. One time.
Coyotes tonight.
Play. It cost me. Go Arizona. Thanks, Cam.
People that bashed him will be eating their words this year. Pretty heavily favored to be a first-round pick, minus 400 earlier this week. But that's not the surprise.
If you're drafting J.J. McCarthy, in the first half of the first round. You clearly believe not only is he a starter, he's going to be your starter for years to come. But
a popular bet was under 3.5 wide receivers in the first round.
The tape doesn't lie, baby.
Only on SportsGrid.
Victor Hovland right now can probably hit it right where he's looking on the range. But the problem is when you get out to a golf course, especially like Augusta National, it's a big, big picture. You can see every shot in the world, but the targets are really, really small.
I feel like whoever we pick is going to win. Like, I feel like we have the power to choose the winner of this tournament.
I know. I'm surprised more guys haven't reached out.
And they might, and they probably will.
Only on SportsGrid.
89-87, 0.6 seconds remaining. Big drama here in this game. Always frustrating when your final four parlay and bracket gets busted, but here we go. I'm done.
Look what he is now. He's on FanDuel, plus 120. Almost even money to win the tournament. So you actually, if you did get him at plus 260, you got a pretty good, better investment than you had before. Just saying.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back InGame Live, Prime Time. Thanks to Cam Stewart for joining us. He'll take over top of the hour with Gabe Morency for the next three here on the Grid TV and radio-wise. But, yes, Philadelphia did win 105-104 somehow or another, needing literally 10 points in 19 seconds. This goofy game ended up not only going over all those numbers, Dave, that were so much lower than the original number, it actually even went over the 208. And the guy hit a 3 at the buzzer, basically. And the game goes over by 1 point. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That game had no business going over. No business whatsoever. For some reason, the fourth quarter, they're running up and down the court like it was UNLV. I mean, it made no, just out of the blue. And the whole game, they're walking the ball up the court, they're clanking shots, and the fourth quarter, they're running up and down the court like it was nobody's business.
Let it out. Just let it out. I saw it happening live. I saw you looking. Cam was talking about the golf. You had zero interest in the golf picks. You missed the whole segment because you were watching that game. What? And I'm looking at you on the preview screen. I'm going, he is so mad right now. And then it's going to fall 206. It's going to fall 206, 105, 101. Missed a shot. Supposed to end the game. The guy does a round somebody pass. And it's a 3 with 0.3 seconds left to go over to 208.
Philadelphia fouled Miami before the inbounds, so that gave Miami a technical foul free throw, which the guy hit. I had 3 to give in the final possession. I couldn't lose. And these bozos foul a guy, so they got the free throw and then the three-pointer.
Yeah. Welcome to Wednesday Night Bad Beats with Scott Wetzel. This is listen, I've been listening to these things for decades. It's fine. It'll be okay. Tomorrow's another day. Great show. Again, boys did a great job tonight. No goal horn tonight. We'll get the goal horn cranked up for the playoffs. Looking forward to it. That's it.
There you go. Nah, man. Enjoy the weekend. We'll do it again next week. Let's go, Trae Young. Please.